Parliament passed the LGBTQ law, sent it to then President Addo Dankwa. He didn't sign.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Sent it to then President Addo Dankwa. He didn't sign.
But as far as I know, the bill did not get to the president for assent. The bill did not get to the president for assent.
Yes, I mean, we are seeing now homosexuality. I shall see free in another, and that is why a dimmy yaw pass. I will say, I shall say free in another.
When you mention the name of J.J. Rowling, district assemblies come to mind. When you mention the name of John Ajakum Kufuor, National Health Insurance Scheme comes to mind. When you mention Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, free senior high school comes to mind. But when you mention John Mahama, Doomsaw, that's what we hear. We want someone who's going to take our country forward, not backward.
Eusia, etoda ensem bu ho no ma wotia na owera ho. Se ase amonyokuo bia owa abonten na se wo pre se Ghana fo betime tie no na ya to aba ma no ya na ne nsenka yenko. Saa nso na oba na obetena konwa no so na no adane na wasan kire ensem foforo. Ye ba beto aba 2024 ewo my Ghana mu efri be 2023 edeba ensemu na NDC chinie amonyokuo eda wo ma no mota aka pa eyensensema efa LGBTQ+ ho sensemu wo no mo kire se emna hye bobo hu edi hu nkomo nyina awie ede kokoto His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo anim senka on sign keke na enhya ase mra meye mra nanso so anko nanso so ebreye kokoto nanim no obu nani guso a wan sign ama no anye mra na se ye no kore se nya no kore ensamba beda adwai Ghana fo pi no anso tie ehunu se NDC fo na eka no kore fri se yete se akakopie mu Parliament yakoba ne se na ebesi ne NPP omuntimi ensan ye emfa emma Ghana fo na enei ena babeda dwa se ensemu a NDC fo kan nyina se na ebosiremka na wo mu etu mfuturo de agu Ghana fo ne na nokore wo munyane se wonom kyese kokopie mu omrahye bedwafie wo hwe saa abre ne mpo no a na NDC ni NPP no wo omrahye bedwafo koro no a se ba kopa bi ena na ase NPP fo ede boro so anase bibisa na nso so no nyina mo no wo mo edibeti hu bobo hu a emane kokoduru baabi a ebinom de tabo ekokoto so anase menka se court injunction ekokoto so die enti na mane ba sa die enti ena ye de court injunction kokoto so a enam so na abane ne hutumi se wode ne nsa eka na sa abre no ne nyina no nyantoboase na ye ntie de efiri mo baaye na NDC amonyokuo nam so mo de ye politics enti Haruna Idrusu video edi kan hwe ye Haruna Idrusu ne nsemo na wo ka se amrahye bedwafo ye di hu nkomo wie de koto mampani nim sign na wan sign nenso so His Excellency na President John Dramani Mahama ebra woni Catholic Bishop Conference fo hia o ka kire mo pen said e benye sa na tie ono ankasa woni opani na di nkomo na nukure pa krata mu de anka nkoduru Ghana mampani na nado nanim se on sign na one sign nemum na emre be chichire no anase emre be chichire saa ensem wo di hu nkomo Parliament ntin enye se ekokoto nanim na one sign enye saa enetie na ene enchiremu bebre no a ena aba yenya ntoboase na yenti enimdifo a wo mani di sansem kan na chi na ne de se saa netie anka ndisifo wo mani magu ase papa ene mpo no wo mo mrahye bedwafo dodo wo mrahye bedwafie mo ye chemu miensa mokutam yenu no se moka se ne moka kodi saa de we hu nkoma obia ni mu nichim obia mpo ntimi ni mu de achinye mo betimi de akonne ene ya mo betimi agye atum apase yeye mo na modo so nenso ebesi ne mrahye bedwafo wonu mun kan ho asem yehwe na yentie nkomo ni bia aba wadaroma bomodi an se obe like me video ya ma me share na face for wadwen kire nso so bra me da se
propaganda bebre me ma ba ko na ma ba question so wonim se mo ka fa hotel ho
Yes.
Say Dr. Babud Baumiadia.
Yes.
The owner of hotel me young brebo a brand young man what is so open do be kon hono ko hotel owner a very young man or transit ke kana dwena bom a developing idea Yede share Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Omo ba ba mu, omo ankasa amana be ye clear say what happened? Are you trying to say ekoda mampani anim ena mampani ansan no. The bill never got to the presidency. Afei de correction omo ye ne say Owura Santi Bedi Aturo issue statement say they shouldn't bring it at all. Onti anonso.
Say so that's
no, but onti anonso.
Enta me bisa say.
Me bisu asa, what be say masem me ansa.
Ankodu.
Ena me bisa say onti say. Almost see the Santi Bedi Aturo issue statement say they shouldn't bring it at all until omo ntimi afanko. Onti anonso.
No, that was the message that was sent back to Parliament.
Who sent it?
From Asante Bedu. That's what we heard.
Said they shouldn't bring it.
Yes, I mean it is not something that they will want to. President want to deal with it or something like that came.
I would be
from
very happy to see the letter because the president's secretary cannot speak verbally to Parliament.
So Otroye written.
So did you see the letter? Do you have a copy? Now even assuming without admitting, say Otroye, it means the letter never got to the bill never got to the presidency, right? And then some no mukafa.
I will look for
top mampeni table so na mampeni se on sign.
Okay, it is Ankotoso. What was the response from the same reverend and the NPP to us Ghanaians?
Ghanaians.
The
same questioner and mampeni John Dramani Mahama bedi adie o first thing o kan ho asem. Say bill no wa hu say one or two bi o mo se any address. This is the same thing happening under the NDC. But NDP happening under the NPP. But NDC for catch and say, bill only clean, there's nothing wrong with it. So Mampeni appending signature on it. Mampeni appending the signature on it. And then omo taking over and they almost say, bill no crown and near maybe we mo see ye free. Time they toss me no time no I spy. To see a sound presenting bill no Parliament.
But is it not normal?
It's normal.
Parliamentary process.
Say I spy.
Yes.
1 year ni. And you should understand the reason why the president said that it's not the most important thing to them. It's the 1 year ni worry.
No, me bao say a bill. Right?
Me say
a bill, a process. Any your friend is saying human rights committee. Enim. I so much. Some will legal affairs committee. It is almost year and on the Parliament. Then they go back again, and that's what I hear. Then they go back again. Final thing when they come, then they give it to a president.
You Speaker of Parliament. My point I'm making is say the same most of the people who sat on that committee are still on the committee,
including Reverend himself.
And that's what I'm saying. So when Reverend Tim Fojo was saying that. Ya draw my attention said Niema Baku mienu bi omo so mo correct. NDC insulted him. Sam George and his people insulted him. Let me take Sam George off because I know the Wanka the 719 for your kind because he's part of the team. It's when him say the team for your kind the genuine thing. But when they go out, they tell different thing to their people. Samu kwada mu kwadi na tem.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that, indeed, President Akufo-Addo Breso, bill no, ankwa could do parliament, ankwa could do presidency.
So Ojiji when Akufo mo. Now they go to your swag. See a be yo say nipa da se ni be yo say, the can one say, be yo say, ni na and pa ho. Now Ojiji no. Now Ojiji Nam sa jidie no papa ebeshumu aba ene yenyina ehu.
Akufo-Addo should have known better than the two of us.
What do you mean by that?
He stayed and grew up with a homosexual. Mr. Akufo-Addo grew up with the first son of his uncle, J.B. Dankwa, who was called Paul Dankwa. Paul Dankwa was a renowned homosexual who got married to Peter Pollock. They lived together and the entire world knew that Akufo-Addo's nephew was homosexual. No, I'm coming. I'll land on this point. And so I think, let me make this point. And so can you allow me?
No.
So I think that, so I'm landing on this. Let me land on this. So I think that if there's any man, look, hold on, if there's any man to know more about homosexuality, like Akufo-Addo stated on the Al Jazeera interview, that growing up in the UK, he saw people, okay, virtually advocating for it and what have you. There was calls for action. And that is why he's waiting to see same in this country. And that if
he's the same man who is stating that it is not under his watch.
Why did he state that? He stated that to an Anglican church. Anytime he appears locally, he becomes a local champion. 3 weeks after he said that, he told Kamala Harris that there is no force in this country pushing against homosexuality. He told her. He told her at the Black Star Square. Few months when he was granted an international interview, before then, he said it was bound to happen.
And the screen now is a position of Virginia Palmer. And that is the U.S. government.
And I'm telling you,
we should be worried, shouldn't we?
Rwanda wasn't worried. Rwanda took steps to protect their sovereignty. Why is Mr. Akufo-Addo not worried about what the chief imam is saying? Why is Alhaji Bawumia not worried about what the Pentecost pastor you quoted was saying? Why are they not worried about what the Anglican church is saying? Why are they not worried about what Lighthouse Chapel is saying? Why are they not worried about what me, my brother, and you are saying today, together with your cameraman, that is a no to LGBTQ? Why is he decided that he will be worried about what the US is saying and an unknown figure now at the Supreme Court where nobody
hasn't stated that. He said there are opposition to the bill before our law courts. And I think that we can grant that to the president.
Yeah, he said somebody's at the law court.
So I have this one from Mark.
We are seeing homosexuality. And that is why I will say free. I will explain. Why that? Openyi bi wo ho na friend Paul Dankwa. Paul Dankwa na oyenanado wofa JB Dankwa the first born. Wako internet so a ubehu. Paul Dankwa in 1947. 1947. Ghana Krenya independence. Paul Dankwa was one of the first acclaimed homosexual in Wiase nyina no twasini.
As of 1947. Now JB Dankwa na nado no wofaba na just na den na cousin. Yeah, cousin you can say wotwimu. Oh no and wofa say amase de ne nua. Nua Paul Dankwa Wiase nyina no twasini. Okoware bema your friend Peter Pollock. E wo UK ho. E ware bi kra. O ware bema your friend Peter Pollock. Na nado no wofa JB Dankwa first son. JB Dankwa na nado say universities in Accra yes santo no di mo no. Yeah. The first born not yet an internationally acclaimed gay. Oko ware Peter Pollock. Ya pamo mo at the time from UK omu tukotena Australia. Osa no mo ware omu ware bema ne bema. Inti the first gays to be acclaimed, the first homosexuals after Sodom and Gomorrah. Efrinanado busuemu. Wow! Na pizza Paul Dankwa Nanado neno no mo te dan ba kumu omu nyini bo mu to some extent. Nanado nyini na Paul Dankwa gusu ho. No be sro mo di bro nyina bom omu di Easter. Na Nanado ehu Peter Paul Dankwa ni Peter Pollock na ene kunu omo wiye ye bo Paul Dankwa pampers. Ansa no free wiase. Ye bo no pampers. And the opera type go on the New York Times. The first internationally acclaimed gay was called Paul Dankwa. Then Nanado near Akasa. Inti sa nyebe yi se wodwene ho kra won siase because mampanyin Nanado when you so high and a wa wu nua bo pampers a be wu ye. Wu na wie ye. Inti wu na wie ye tatantan. Inti anka wo de be sua nyansampo a anka wo se wo hu ehun sunsuanso na wo de tu wankasa wonfo. Na wo Nanado come international. That is why anytime Nanado be any international interview they be saying about homosexuality. Yeah. Because abrofo ni baby e free by. Omo ni me say ade ni chinchin na busuamu. Ento omo pese omo hu adwen etan na echi. So ono so de be sa na chiri mafo a. Yeah. Ento omo bisa no. That anytime they ask him, or say it is bound to happen. Yeah. They bisa the bia or say it is bound to happen. Any pay odi man penyi man ye. That is the worry in this country. Now, when we bisa Nanado na say, inti ye papa penyi sharubutu. That's all kani na say, adie ye bonsam sem, adie ye musio sem, adie nye montren sign no.
Nana do Otiana.
I don't know.
Catholic bishops.
Yeah.
Etro krata se aje ye musio asem e mayen famba dano. Nana do inti Otiana. Pentecostal church for aso for upenyu for e go share man penyin se ade a opese wo ye. Eye bone e de maye. Nana do Otiana.
I don't know.
Now even the laws in the bill are here dia kono. Africa nyina ye de na soft. Why are they near 3 years?
Me part of meba.
Ukon yes.
Meba. National chief imam. Enam Sheikh and Arame Yalso Akasa.
Right.
Edia fa this gay issue. Na mama yen konkoshe video no. Emra. National chief imam on this gay issue. Yen konko emra.
Confronting us as a nation and the dangers it poses in the long run to our country goes beyond human right and constitutionality. It is about our dignity as a nation and our time-honored family and national values. Islam as faith and system of life stands diametrically opposed to LGBTQ A+ and all its ramifications as damnable, morally objectionable, publicly and socially reprehensible, and above all, a subject of divine reprobation and prohibition. Those persons involved, we see them as people who have problems, and they can be the subject for our approach to remedy. We do not seek to encourage any attack on the persons, whether physical or emotional, on any person who is seen to be practicing this. But that what we are saying is that we reject it and we support any legislation that will prevent it. Call on all the eminent professors who have risen against the anti-LGBT bill to reconsider their stance by engaging in serious soul searching and prayer for God's guidance. We also believe that perverse freedoms that draw a nation into destruction should be completely outlawed, discouraged, and legally prevented.
Alec.
So what's the chief imam guy?
Sure.
Yeah, my engine too. Chief imam say, "Bail no yen sign no enimeni ya."
Finally, Mr. President, I do want to ask about the anti-LGBTQ legislation that we did see expire in Ghana earlier this year. A number of parliamentarians support reviving it. If it came to your desk, would you sign it?
The old bill expired because it was not assented to by the president. There was a legal challenge. Eventually, the legal challenge was dismissed, so it means that the president could assent to it, but it's expired. So the question is hypothetical. It means that it has to go into Parliament again. And I think that what we need is more stakeholder consultation to look at whatever new bill will come and make sure that we carry everybody on board. Proper family values are something we all are interested in, and we believe that it's not only in the bills that we send to Parliament to regulate them, but also in teaching our children those family values even as they grow. And so looking at the curriculum in schools and inculcating those values in them, I think is the more important pressing issue that we must look at.
Would you be concerned, though, if we saw a number of institutions potentially pulling back funding to Ghana if you were to sign it? Do you factor that into your thinking around the bill?
Well, I believe that multilateral institutions should avoid getting into cultural matters. This is a diverse world. We have different cultures. And so I don't think multilateral institutions should include, cultural imposition as part of their mandates. I don't agree with that. If they decide to pull it, well, it's their prerogative. But I don't believe that multilateral institutions like the World Bank and IMF should include in their mandates